everybody, this is Miss Hernandez. I just want to help do a refresher for you guys on adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing fractions. So the first part we'll be doing is adding fractions. So if everyone remembers correctly, we have to make this cross to do the four squares that we use. And if you remember, we always put the problem in our top left corner. So the problem we'll be going over today is 2/3 plus 1/5. Okay. So what we have to find is our least common denominator. That is our first thing we have to do. It's the two smallest numbers we have in common between our 3 and our 5 because those are our denominators. So first off, I'm going to count by 3s and by 5s. So we have 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. I'm going to stop at 15 for 3. And then for 5, I'll do 5, 10, 15, and 20. So you might see we might have two numbers in common already. So I'll give you a moment to look at what they are. You're just looking at your 3s and your 5s and seeing which number is in common and it's the smallest one in common. I'll give you time to look. Okay, so if you noticed, we have 15s in common. And there's nothing less than those two numbers that are in common between 5 and 3. So that's our least common denominator, 15. So if you want, you can put 15 here in the corner to help you remember. After that, we have to change both of our fractions up here into the new fractions with the denominator of 15. Since we're changing them, I'm going to go ahead and make those new fractions. Okay, both have a denominator of 15. Next, we see how do we get 3 to 15? Well, let me look at my 3s here that I did over here, and I'm going to count. How many times did I count up by 3 to get to 15? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all I did was 3 times 5 to get to 15. So I'm going to put times 5 right there. Whatever you do with your denominator, you also do with your numerator. So we're also going to be doing 2 times 5. So what's 2 times 5? 10. 2 times 5 is 10. I'm sure you got that right. And then we do the same thing with this other fraction we have over here. So how do we change 5 to 15? Well, let's see how many times did I count up by 5 to get to 15. 1, 2, 3. So all I did was 5 times 3 to get to 15. So I'll put times 3 right there. Remember, whatever you do with your your denominator, you do with your numerator. So if I did 5 times 3, I also do 1 times 3. So what's 1 times 3? 3. After that, you just rewrite your new fractions and you do the math. So we're doing 10 over 15 plus 3 over 15. Our 15s will stay the same. The denominator will always stay the same when you're adding or subtracting. So I'm going to leave 15 as my denominator. All I have to do now is just 10 plus 3. So everyone else, 10 plus 3 is 13. So 13 over 15 is my answer, or my sum, for 2 over 3 plus 1/5. Right, so let's try another one. Right, so the new problem we'll be solving is going to be 3/7 plus 2/5. So like I said earlier, we'll be looking for our least common denominator. The two smallest numbers we have in common between the multiples of 7 and 5. So let's find out what the multiples are. The multiples are just counting up by those numbers. So for 7, it'd be 7, 14, 21, 28, and 35. I'm just going to do the first 5 multiples. Now let's do the ones for 5. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Let's see if we have anything in common so far. Do you see anything in common? No, we don't have any numbers in common yet, right? So how about we keep counting up by 5s? So we stopped at 25. Next would be 30, then 35, and then 40. Let's see if we have something in common now. Oh, looks like I see one. I hope you see it too. So here we have 35 and 35. So 35 is our least common denominator. I'm going to write that number right here just so I remember. Oop, there we go. Right, like I said earlier again, all we have to do is change these fractions into new fractions with a denominator of 35. So I'm going to make those new fractions right here at the bottom. Going ahead and starting those. Next we see, how did we change 7 to 35? Well, how many times did it count by 7 to get to 35? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I did was 7 times 5 to change 7 to 35. So I'm going to put times 5. That's all I did. Whatever I do to my denominator, I do to my numerator. So then I'd also be doing 3 times 5. So what's 3 times 5? I hope you got it. It's 15. Right. Then we have to do the same thing with this fraction. So 5 times what gets me 35? Give you a moment to think about it. You can also use the multiples we put in the least common denominator box to help you figure it out. Right, so let's see how many times we counted by 5. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 5 times 7 gets us 35. Remember, what you do with your denominator, you do with your numerator. So we're going to be doing 2 times 7. So what's 2 times 7? Or 7 times 2? It's 14. That's right, 14. Then all we have to do is rewrite our fractions and do our math. So we're still going to be adding. Our denominator stays the same when we're adding or subtracting. So it'll stay 35. All we have to do is 15 plus 14. So what's 15 plus 14? I can show us right here at the little corner. So 15 plus 14. 5 plus 4 is 9. And 1 plus 1 is 2. So 29 is our answer. Sorry, I ended that last part a little quickly, guys. But 29 over 35 is the sum for the last problem we did. Right, so this next problem, what we're going to do is I'll give you the problem, and then what you can do is you can pause the video, try this one on your own, try and work it out on your own, see if you can get the answer before I do. Then you can unpause it, see if you went through the same steps as I did, and then you can see if you got the right answer. So I'm going to try that out for you guys. So how about we do 4 over 7 plus 3 over 8. So remember, you're looking for the least common denominator between 8 and 7. And then you're changing your fractions to new ones with that least common denominator. Go ahead and pause the video and give it a try. Alright, so how about I show you the multiples for 8. So we have 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56. And we'll stop right there for this one. Then we have 7, so we have 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49. Do you see anything in common yet? Oh, not yet, so let's keep going. 49, 56. Oh, looks like we stopped one short of getting the same number, right? Because if you see, we had 56 here and 56 here. And I almost messed both of those up. So, just like we found it, just like that. 56 is our least common denominator. Right. Now we have to change our fractions to new fractions with 56 as our denominator. So hopefully you got to this point, you already knew that you have to see how you change 7 to 56. Well, let's see, how many times did I count up by 7s to get to 56? Okay. What you do with your denominator, you do with your numerator. So if we multiplied by 8, we multiply 4 times 8. So 4 times 8 is 32. Then we have to change this fraction into the one below. So 8 times what got me 56? Well, if you notice, we had the answer right over here when we did this problem. So it's actually times 7. You could have also counted here and seen it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Either way helps. So 8 times 7 is 56. Whatever you do to your denominator, you do to your numerator. So 3 times 7 would have got me 21. Hopefully you had the same thing on your own problem when you did it on your own. Now all you have to do is rewrite the problem over here and just solve. Remember, we're looking for our sum, the answer to this addition problem. Remember, our denominator stays the same. All we have to do is add our numerators. So 32 plus 21. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. So 53 over 56 is our answer. Almost a whole number, isn't it, guys? If we had just 3 more, it could have been a whole number, but it's 53 over 56. Alright, hopefully you guys got this video pretty good, and you're able to do these on your own. How about I give you one last problem to try out on your own? This is going to be one that you do completely on your own. So you're going to be doing 3/4 plus 5/8. Go ahead and do the same process, and when you get an answer, how about you put a comment? Put a comment down below in the comment section of the video, or you can send a message through Seesaw with your answer, and we'll see if you get it right. Good job, guys.